Hi, I'm Phil Constantine. This is Travels with Phil, and today we're traveling to the Mississippi State Capitol. And a big thank you to the U.S. Marine Corps Band for this nice music. I love this state capitol. Of course, I like state capitals in general, but this is a very, very nice one. The Mississippi State Capitol is in Jackson, Mississippi, and it has been a National Historic Landmark since about 2016. I was really surprised at seeing the parking lots here. I was able to park right across the street when I walked up to the building. There were spots right next to the state capitol, open parking spaces. There you go. All right, looking around, this is a beautiful spot. It's been the home of the state legislature since about 1903. It's the third Capitol building. We'll show you some of the remnants of the older ones. The building is what's called Beaux Arts, and it was designed to house all branches of the Mississippi state government, although now the judicial branch is in a building across the street, and I have some pictures of that. Nice monument out here for women up in the front of the building itself. And one of the things I really like about the building is the eagle up on top. It's 8 foot tall, 15 foot wide wings, and it's a solid copper with a gilded gold leaf put on top of it. That was a governor's parking spot, by the way. One of my favorite things about Capitol buildings is rotundas, and this one has an absolutely beautiful one. Very, very nice. Lots of pictures. There's some sculpture work inside, nice, long, clean halls, and beautiful, beautiful stained glass window work around. Now, the Senate has got about 52 seats in there, and there's lots of marble around the building, on the walls, the porticos, the columns that support things. You can see the dome work there, some of the stained glass windows here. Very, very, very pretty spot here in the state of Mississippi, right about in the center, pretty much north and south, east and west, although Mississippi itself is a very long, narrow state. And you'll see a lot of offices around. Now, this is the older Supreme Court. Well, this is the moderate Supreme Court, I guess. They seem to have moved most of it over across the street. This is one of the spots here for the Senate. And as I was saying, there's 52 senators there. That when we get over to the House of Representatives, there's 122 of them. And backward swastikas, although it's an old design. American Indians even had that design long before Germany ever did. And again, the governor's office, some of the stained glass windows here are just absolutely gorgeous. Lots of them depicting special scenes. Almost all of them, I would assume, would be special scenes in the state history of Mississippi. And that's the nice dome inside one of the chambers here. And you can get up on the ground floor. You can get up above and look down. I don't know how you can access it during the times when it's actually in session. I was here on May 6, 2016. And, I love that work right there. And you're going to see lots and lots of things in most state capitals, and Mississippi by no means is any different than the other ones. Now, this is looking down, and it has a hole through the center of one of the floors up there, so you can get pretty high up and look down. Now, here we go. This is the Assembly, or the state, or the House of Representatives, I guess would be the name they call it. And back out in the central area, another one of the Indians, a lot of Choctaws. This was a Choctaw country before it became a state. This guy here has a shepherd's crook. I don't know if he was using that to herd his his students or what, but he was carrying that with him. All right, now the current Supreme Court is across the street, and it's got a nice building over there, and it does have a couple of rooms in there, and I'll take you into what's called the en banc, or the en banc, if you want to speak it like a Mississippian. Although I'm from Texas, that's more of a Texas accent. Now, the older buildings that I told you earlier about, well, that's not too far away. It's about a block or two away from the current Capitol building. And they've got the old building itself. They have a lot of historic rooms in there, some displays up here. Those, as you can see here, this is the old Capitol. And there were some issues involved in this, as there are in state history. I'm not going to get too deeply involved in these, but as you can see here, all of these land grants, those were cessions from the Choctaw Nation, whether they wanted to or not, basically. This is the governor's old office, a long view here, panorama. That's his cane. Yeah, well, actually, and that might have actually been Jeff Davis's cane and gun. And some of the tools that they used to build the old Capitol, and several of the capitals in the Old South were made by the same person. Oh, there we go. This is Jeff Davis's cane and gun. A lot of the doorknobs and handles all have big M's in them, which I like that. Texas has big T's all over. Not all states do that. Some of them just have regular doorknobs. This is the old house chambers, panoramic photograph here. And they pretty well much preserved them. In one spot there, you can actually play old historic debates that were reenacted, so you can hear what they were talking about in specific times. They have one of them about slavery, which was very interesting. Get a chance, go in and just press the button or listen to the tour guide if they're offering tours at the time. There were no tours when I was there. Now we're going to go over the Mississippi Governor's Mansion. Now, this is a beautiful spot. The governor does live there. A lot of ceremonial spots inside it. Now, I had been taking pictures. You'll see several of the pictures I took inside. We're about halfway through the tour when the tour guide said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, no pictures." So that's why they just sort of suddenly stopped here and why there was no video inside. Beautiful flowers outside while I was waiting for them to open, and some beautiful trees as well. This is the front, the portico of the governor's mansion, and there I am peeking in. And we finally get to go in. Beautiful carpeting, and just, the appointments are very, very nice. Something that the people could be proud of. And it did display a lot of artwork as far as the state was concerned, or the occupants and the people that are making all the things that are involved in operating the state of Mississippi. And they do have some formal dinners here. They don't show the entire facility because the governor needs some privacy, even if they're not in station, and the security people don't like folks to know exactly everything that's going on. Did have one little bit of trivia for you here about the state of Mississippi. And you notice Robin Williams on the left. Well, the guy on the right is Ansel Joseph McLaren, and he was the 34th governor of Mississippi from 1896 to 1900, and he was Robin Williams' great-great-grandfather. They do look a bit alike. Thank you very much for watching this tour of the Mississippi State Capitol. You can comment below as long as you're family-friendly, and if you haven't subscribed, just push that button over on the right-hand side. Thanks for watching.